It's a new day here on the farm. We've got some hay that we got to make this week. We're kind of coming down the final stretch here. We did 400 bales of grass hay the other day off of about 10 acres. Today we're going to actually mow the 15 acres here at home. We're going to small bale some of it and big bale some more of it. And then whenever we get this done, we're going to go and bale about 5 acres of alfalfa this afternoon if we can get it done before the rain. We need to get the baler unhooked, hook up to the mower, get it greased up, and then we're going to get to mowing out here. We got the 11 acres of grass hay mowed over there. And then I mowed the 3.5 acres of new seeding mix hay. It's coming in a little bit better second time around. We're definitely gonna do some overseeding to kind of fill in some of the bare spots, but it's gonna make some good cattle hay if we can get it dry. And then the grass hay, most of it, I'm actually gonna be able to small bale for horses this time. A lot of the weeds got knocked off last time around and it's pretty clean, but there's some waterway spots in some areas where there's just some fall grass that probably isn't gonna cure the best, so we'll big bale that while the big baler is here. I gotta swap the mower and the baler around again. I do kind of want to clean out all this gunk here. This will rot your cutter bar. And I normally clean it out at the end of every season because that ain't good for your mower. Brought wagon over. Here's the hay we're dealing with. This stuff is, it's gonna be some nice stuff. Kind of a lighter cutting this time around, but hoping I can fit it all in 2 wagons and take it home. And yeah, it looks to be nice stuff. We're gonna let it sit in the windrow here for a few hours. I don't really think the rain's gonna do anything. Hopefully, if there is any rain, it misses us. I want to check the moisture before I do too much baling. There is some dampness underneath still, and that is way too freaking wet. There's a spot right there, it's testing 40, and there's a spot right here that tests, yeah, I don't know. Oh boy, this ain't good. I'm not really sure what's going on because these bales are so inconsistent. So there's 17% in this spot. I'm gonna test right next to it and we get a wet clump that's 30%. So that damp stuff that's on the bottom of the windrow is making quite a big difference in the moisture of these bales. I'm debating if I should just send it and hope for the best. It's beautiful looking stuff. I mean, that's pretty good leaf retention for the most part. Not terrible looking hay. After some research and some thinking, we're gonna let the hay set for a couple more hours. It's 3:30 now. I'm gonna come back around 5:30 and try to knock it out. It shouldn't take me that long to bale it. I just wanna make sure that I get it baled and home before any chance of rain. 7 o'clock, they're saying 50% chance of rain. It was originally at 5, but they pushed it back, thankfully. But we're gonna let it sit for a couple hours. Most of the hay is right there at that perfect moisture, but there are spots in there that underneath the windrows that are pushing 25, 30, 35, even 40% moisture in some spots. That's gonna spoil. So I'm hoping that if I can give it another hour and a half, 2 hours, that stuff will come down a little bit. And then if I bump the Gandy up and dump Silo King on there, we can try to keep those flakes from spoiling too bad. Let me know in the comments what you think the perfect alfalfa moisture is. I've read that, 18 to 20 is that perfect moisture for alfalfa in small bale form. Let me know what you think. We're right around that spot. There's just flakes that are way above that, and I'm afraid that those wet flakes, those wet slugs are going to cause issues. So we're going to push the envelope. We're going to wait a little bit. Hopefully we can get it baled and in the barn before any rain. I'm out checking this hay field right now, and this hay is actually moving along very rapidly. This is a thicker spot, the thickest spot of the field, so there's obviously going to be dampness on the bottom. But on the top, we're getting pretty crunchy, which is awesome to see. I'm really happy. I will ted this stuff out in the morning, and there's going to be a part of me that will go, hey, it's dry, let's bale it tomorrow. but I made that mistake last time. I have until Wednesday, so I'm gonna wait as long as I can to bale this stuff. It might discolor it a little bit more, but there is some fall grass in it, and I want to make sure that's bone dry, at least as dry as I can get. We're just gonna use the time we have and let it dry, because I'm tired of dealing with borderline hay. It is annoying. It uses a lot of preservative, and there's always just those questions up in the air about whether or not it's gonna cure or not. This is really nice hay. I don't want to push it. If we got the time, we're going to use it. Just about 5 o'clock. I'm hoping on a wing and a prayer that this hay is dry enough to bale. I don't really have a choice right now, though. I got so much stuff I got to do in the next couple of days. This hay's got to go up today. The majority of it's good moisture. I think it's going to be fine if I throw a preservative on it, and hopefully it cures. Fingers crossed. Let's see what the damage is. By the grace of the good Lord Almighty, I think we're in the clear. Surprisingly, a really nice breeze picked up over the last hour. Probably have something to do with front moving in. But walking around checking these windrows, and it seems that the damp stuff on the bottom is definitely drying. So here's a thicker windrow. We'll flip it over. Real green stuff here. This was wet an hour and a half ago, and that stuff is definitely drier. And I did some twist tests on the stuff, and it's twisting a lot easier. Like, this was 100% wet just an hour ago, and it's definitely cured down a lot. So we're gonna bale it, and we're gonna get it in the barn tonight. Let's test a couple bales here, see what they're doing. Hopefully they're all right. I don't want to see any higher than 22 or 23. That's almost too dry, but hey, that's still pretty dry. It's a little wetter. That would have been a wet spot, but I mean, that's still fine. Testing a couple more. 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26. Alfalfa's a funny thing. We're just gonna bale it anyway. The moisture is literally anywhere from 10 to 35. That's how inconsistent it is. The wet stuff is really just from random wet spots on the bottom of the windrow. Everything else is dry. We're gonna bump the inoculant up just so we could try to get those wet spots to cure, and we're gonna put it in the barn. Here's the last wagon. Let's see what these bales are testing. Still perfect. I mean, I'm happy with that moisture. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just one weird row over there that was wet, but this stuff here is testing really consistently. 14 to 18, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Yeah, I'm gonna have those wet spots like I've been having, but overall, I'm very pleased with how this stuff turned out. It is a gorgeous night. Love these summer views. Now, if I would have gotten it right on first try, that would have made my day better. It is dang near 100 degrees today, and I've been running around like a wild man for the last 3 days. It's kind of just been one of those weeks where it doesn't stop. It's just boom, 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 one thing after another got to get done. We got 15 acres of grassland right now, and a chance of rain at 3 because it's so friggin' hot today that, you know, pop-up thunderstorms are in the area. So we are kind of scrambling to make sure that we're set up in a position where we can get it off dry before the rain. We got a big baler coming to big bale some of the coarser stuff, but if it looks like rain's coming like sooner than we expected, you know, we're gonna have both balers hammered down and just get it baled. Hopefully we can fit it on 3 wagons and back them in the barn if we have to, and somehow get all the big bales picked up at the same time. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know what's going blah. That's how I feel right now. I'm gonna get to raking hay. That stuff out there should be pretty dry by now. We did get this alfalfa stack, the stuff that we baled Monday, sitting in the stack. This stuff is just gorgeous. Pretty hay. Dad did most of it yesterday, and I finished off the top of the stack this morning. So, without further ado, let's get raking. It's go time. I got a lot of it raked. Dad just took over for me. He's raking kind of the big baler stuff right now. But I got the tractor warming up and we're gonna go get to moving on some of this hay. If it is around 15% or lower, but if it's hovering kind of roughly around 15, 16, maybe even 17%, we're sending it. Please be good to me. Oh, yes. Right on the money. Just check a couple to make sure. Oh, my word, yes. Finally, some hay that's actually worth baling. That's awesome. This one might be a little wetter. Some of this grass didn't cure, but hey, it's still reading low. That's a good thing. That's probably the wettest stuff we'll see. Hammer down. We're not waiting any longer. Hammer down. There's a cloud back here. It looks like a storm, but I don't know. Hammer down. Well, the final number for small bales was 209, and this stuff is gorgeous. It's bone dry. It's anywhere from 10 to 16, which that's amazing. That's perfect. It's right up my alley. Didn't make a ton, but that's because it is late in the year, and that's just how it goes. But it made some beautiful stuff. Very happy with how this stuff turned out. Cannot complain with that. The big baler is running somewhere over there, baling up, got that field baled and baling up the coarser stuff over here. Pretty sure it was pretty bone dry too. Stacked.